Okay, we're putting the first coat on the mould. This is the tooling coat. It's from SP Systems. It's an epoxy tooling coat, and it's a mixed 100 parts tooling coat to 17 parts catalyst. And this is 100 grams and 17 grams of catalyst. What you do is you just brush the same way all the time, so as you actually brush the air bubbles out as best you can as you go. So we're just finishing it off. There's already 10 coats of wax on the plug and splitting plate, and also I've airbrushed some PVA mould release on there as well. Go over the main plug first, and then if you've got enough left you can start going round the indentation pins as well. It's not so important, as long as you get a nice layer about 1/2 millimetre thick over the main plug. The rest of this is just to use it up really. A little bit goes a long way. It's very thixotropic, which means that it brushes on, but then it just settles down and doesn't run. So it's good for vertical surfaces. Leaves a very hard edge. It's just good stuff. What we'll do, once it's all on, we'll go over it with a hairdryer. Just hit it with some nice hot air. Make sure that any air that's still trapped in there will come out to the surface. And that'll be it. Leave it to harden for a few hours till it gets finger tacky, and then we're ready to start putting some cloth on. Just going to use up the rest of this around the edges. Okay, we've left it a few hours. What we're looking for is just so as it leaves a finger indent in there. It's just gone nice and tacky. Then I like to go round and put, let's move back a bit so as you can see, I like to go around and in any sharp edges get 2 or 3 glass toes in there just to strengthen the edges. So all the way round, put some glass toe in, and then thicken up the epoxy with some cloth silica and brush it all over. The idea of this is to fill up any voids, so there's no little holes or air bubbles or anything. We'll give it 3/4 of an hour or so just to gel up a little bit, and then mix some more epoxy and put the first layer of cloth in, so as it beds into that thickened epoxy but won't go down to the tackier stuff underneath. And this should give a real nice bond. Okay, we've moved on a bit. We're on the second half, and it's just come out of the vacuum bag. Let's get some of this stuff off. This is the breather fabric. This is the pill ply underneath. See, it leaves a nice lovely finish there. Yeah, lovely. So catching up a bit. I've jumped ahead, haven't I? After we had that thickened resin over the initial tooling coat and the glass toes put round the sides, we put on 2 layers of 4-ounce cloth. Just put it on with a brush, stippled it on, and the idea of using the light cloth is so as it conforms over the edges, gets down nicely, goes into the shape and doesn't leave any air bubbles. We let that harden for a while, a few hours, and then I put 3 layers of 10-ounce glass on. Sorry, the 4-ounce glass is 110 gram, and the 10-ounce cloth that I used, that's 250 gram. I put 3 layers of that on, and what I did was I wetted it out on a flat surface. I get a polythene sheet, wet it out with a roller, wetting it out with epoxy, so it's all nice and uniformly wetted out over, and then lay it onto the mould. Get 3 layers all over. Put the peel ply on the top, then the breather. Put it into a vacuum bag. Pull the vacuum bag down. Make sure that it's all nicely tucked into the shape of the plug, and put it in a warm box and leave it for 24 hours. That way I end up, see, when it comes out, it's all nicely conformed to the shape of the plug, nice and tight, and it's got a nice surface to key up to get my next layer on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 layer of 1200 gram cloth over the top of it, and that will be enough for a home mould, and I should be able to get 20 or 30 pulls out of it easily. If I wanted to go for more of a professional tooling, what I understand, although I haven't done it, is that you would build up a much thicker mould, so maybe an extra couple of layers of the 1200 gram cloth would do it. So that's what we're going to do.